1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Out there in Banjo land, Mike Henning here, coming to you today with the old classic song, Sally Goodin. I had a request to do a lead version of this song. I have a pretty extensive backup lesson I did with how to play backup behind a fiddle playing the melody, but I had a request to do a solo of the song as well, so we're going to do that in this lesson. This song was obviously made famous by Earl Scruggs playing banjo on it, but there's a very classic version of J.D. Crowe where he plays some really great backup and then does a really killer solo. But what we're going to do for this lesson is explore how to adapt this melody to different styles. So we're going to try it in 3 styles: Scruggs style, melodic style, and then single string. We're going to do a solo up the neck and then a solo down the neck, so you've got plenty to work with. It's a really good practice to hear how that melody is adapted to different styles. If you're more of a traditionalist and you want to stick to just Scruggs style, you can play the whole thing Scruggs style. If you like the melodic style or single string, right, you're going to have some options on this lesson depending on your personal preference. And lastly, I've got my capo on the 2nd fret. I've got my 5th string tuned up to A, so we're playing in the key of G, but it's going to sound like the key of A. All right, enough talking. Here's a lead for Sally Goodin. Here we go. Alright, so let's look at breaking down this A part melody in Scruggs style. So remember, Scruggs style is an approximation of the melody, right? So we're going to be adapting the melody of Sally Goodin to the roles that Scruggs commonly used. So what's nice about this A part and B part is it's actually pretty short. So it's only 4 measures long, excluding the pickup that we're going to play. The A part's only 4 measures long and then it repeats. So this is a really good song to loop and focus on 4 measures at a time. Let's start breaking it down. Here we go. Okay, so here's the first 5 measures. Do that again. Okay, so measure 1 is going to be our pickup, and we're just going to do a pinch. So pretty standard, thumb on the 3rd string and then outside strings, and then 4th string, outside strings, just quarter notes. And I'm just doing that basically if I was down here playing backup, right? Now that just gives me a way to get up. And we're going to start the solo up in kind of that Scruggs lead shape. If you're familiar with the song like Cumberland Gap, it's basically this D shape, G chord relative to our capo that we have on the 2nd fret. Remember, 5th string's tuned up to A. Our D-shaped G chord relative to our capo, but we're just going to use different fingers to play more of like a lead, okay? So that's what we're working on there. So I kind of, if I'm down here, I take that opportunity to move my hand up, and I've got my index finger on the 8th fret now relative to my capo, ring finger on the 9th fret of the 1st string. So index finger, 8th fret, 2nd string, ring finger, 9th fret, 1st string, and then your middle finger can grab the 9th fret of the 3rd string, and then your pinky is going to kind of move around on the 2nd string. So that's what we're going to do. And then we're going to play the 1st string, and then forward roll with bending that 11th fret. So you go, and then 5th string again, take your pinky off, back to the 8th fret, 9th fret, 3rd string, and then 8th fret, 2nd string. You could actually loop that measure. Might even be easier to do it a little bit faster. Notice where my wrist is, my left hand wrist, right? You can't be back like this. That's going to make that lick almost impossible, right? So you need to have this finger out. It might also take a little bit of time to build up the strength in your pinky, right? You need to be able to get your pinky to play the 2nd string, and your middle ring finger, is down on the 9th fret of the 1st string, and those 2 notes aren't muting each other, right? You can't be like that, right? So you have to have that you have to have your pinky coming down enough that's clearing that first string. So just practice that to start. It might, like I said, it might be easier a little faster. The other thing you can practice is if that's a big stretch, just go down to the 10th fret and just maybe don't bend it. You can just practice kind of working your pinky and then gradually stretch it out. That's what I did when I was learning. And also, you don't have to worry too much about bending it or how much you bend it. Just give it a little bend up. Kind of accenting my middle finger to start the phrase. And then measure 3, stay in this same position, hit the 9th fret of the first string again. And then your thumb comes down of your right hand and do thumb middle. I put my pinky on the 10th fret. And then take your pinky off and roll forward 3, 2, 1, 5. Those are the strings. Again, I'm just staying in this same shape. My pinky's coming on and off, but that's all I'm doing. So measure 3 sounds like this. Put 2 and 3 together, you have. The other way you can do measure 3 is if you want to keep that roll going, you can hit the 9th fret to start it, then hit the 5th string, and don't do that quarter note pause. So the timing that I have written is 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. I think that helps kind of bring out the melody part, but you could also do it this way, just with a forward roll. So either way works. So again, put those together. And then measure 4, we play a similar lick to measure 2. So I just take that last index finger off a little bit early and play the open 2nd string, which just gives me a little bit of time to get down to the next phrase. So I'm going. Because that lets me take my index finger off, and then I move it back 1 fret and up 1 string to the 7th fret of the 3rd string, and I do an alternating thumb roll. Keep your ring finger down, and I go. And then I move back into my position, and I go. So I'm using that open string at the end of measure 4, right there, and then I'm to shift down, and then I'm shifting back up right here. So do measures 4 and 5 together. You have. So that ends measure 5, and you could actually loop measures 2 through 5 if you just want to practice that A part over and over again in Scruggs style. What I recommend is try and get all the notes clean, right? But if you hit a little clunky note, kind of just keep your hand moving, right? And then think of the shapes that we're using. That's what I would kind of focus on there, okay? So let's play those first 5 measures one more time, and then we'll look at adapting that melody to melodic style. So playing more like how you might play the melody on a fiddle or mandolin. So again, here's the first 5 measures. You could just loop that whole section again if you want to keep the whole A part in Scruggs style, but if you want to see how we expand that into a different style, what we're going to do here is we're going to go coming out of measure 5, and then we're going to quick flip our fingers, right? So we're going to hit the open 5th string, and that's going to give us a chance to quick flip. So then our index finger is going to go to the 9th fret of the 1st string. Our middle finger is going to go to the 10th fret relative to your capo on the second string. So I flip from here to here. And this is not really a chord, it's like a melodic position. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this roll. So not a traditional Scruggs roll, right? I'm going thumb, middle, index, middle, thumb. Just whatever roll we need to do to make that melody come out. So again, we're here, we have, use this fifth string right here to flip. So that, practice that part, that's a good spot to transition. Use your open strings to travel. And then we play a response phrase, open 5th string, and then 10th fret, so keep that shape down, and then we go. So kind of, again, compare that to, now we're going, kind of bouncing off the 5th string, we're going 9th fret, 5th string, 10th fret, 5th string, 9th fret on the 3rd string, so I bring my index finger down. So you have, and then open 1st string, and then 9th fret again on the 3rd string. So you have, and then go back to your initial shape and do this lick. And then we go. Okay, so you can hear how it kind of ends there. So we go thumb, middle, index, middle, thumb, index, thumb, index. Working that shape, right? Not really a Scruggs style roll, we're just playing the melody part that we need to. And then I just do, instead of doing it here, which is kind of hard to jump down there quick, I just did it open. Right, like that. Similar notes. Right, so let's play that whole melodic part, and I'll show you how to slide up into the B part in a second. But let's just play that A part melodic style. So we have. Again, compare it to the Scruggs style.